Okay, so welcome back. So let's talk about rounding. Rounding is a way of estimating numbers, okay? And it's a common way that's used all the time when we're dealing with large numbers or very small numbers. And a lot of times we want to estimate and say, hey, can we round this to the nearest dollar? Or can we round this to the nearest thousand? Or can we round this to the nearest, 10, okay? That's where rounding comes in. So now the technique of rounding, the steps, the method of rounding is very straightforward. Whatever you're rounding to, if you're rounding to the whether you're rounding to the tens place or you're rounding to the thousands place or the 10,000th place or the 100,000s place or the millions, whatever place value you're rounding to, the key is looking at the digit to the immediate right of that place value. Okay. If the digit to the immediate right of the place value that you're rounding to is 5 or higher, right, meaning 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then you're going to round the place value that you're rounding up to the next digit, and then all of the place values to the right of that digit are made into zeros. If the digit to the immediate right of the place value you're rounding is 4 or lower, which means 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, then you're going to keep the place value that you're rounding unchanged, and then you're going to basically change all of the digits to the right of that place value to zeros. Okay, so let's give an example here, or let's use this as an example. Okay, if I wanted to round this to the nearest tens, right? Well, where's the 10th place? Well, the 10th place is right here. So I'm rounding to the nearest tens, which means I'm going to focus on the 3 momentarily. Well, 3 is 4 or less, which means the 6 is going to be unchanged, and then I'm going to change the 3 to a 0. So that means that rounded to the nearest tens would be 247,560. Okay. Now, what if I rounded around to the nearest 100? Well, what would happen? Well, now I want to round to the nearest 100. So now my focus is going to be on the 6. Well, if I want to round to the nearest 100, I look at 6, and 6 is 5 or higher. So that means I'm going to increase the 5 to a 6 here. So, and then everything to the right becomes zeros. So then that means my rounded number would be 247,600. And so that would be rounded to the nearest 100. 247,600. That's to the nearest 100. So again, if we keep going in like fashion, well, what if I want to round to the nearest 1,000? Well, now, this is what I'm rounding, and this is what I'm going to look at. So again, this digit to the right is 5 or higher, which means the 7 will change to an 8. And then everything to the right goes to 0. So that means to the nearest 1,000, this would give me 248,000. Okay? And again, we can keep going, right? So if I want to round to the nearest 10,000, then again, I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000, and I'm going to look at the digit to the immediate right, which in this case is 7. And again, 7 is 5 or higher, which means the 4 is going to be rounded up to 5, and everything to the right becomes 0. So this would be rounded to 250,000. And that's how you round. It's that straightforward. Have a great day.